My name is Greg Morey. I'm a professor of computer science at Simon Fraser University, and I'm a technical advisor to SportLogic. I've worked with SportLogic for the past 4 years, and we've worked on a lot of exciting things together, leveraging their data, leveraging their insight into what matters for teams and coaches and media. For me, sports are something that I really have been passionate about since I was very young, and computer vision is something I'm passionate about as well. And SportLogic was this perfect opportunity to bring together something that I love doing in my personal life with something that professionally we're now expert at. And the state of the art in computer vision has advanced to the stage now where we can do things that when I started in this field, we could only sort of dream of being able to achieve. We've worked on problems such as how do you detect players in hockey videos? How do you track them over time? How do you label actions or events that are taking place, both at the level of what individual players are doing, as well as what is the overall game state? What's happening to this team? Are they winning more face-offs? Are they likely to score more goals? Are they likely to get the next shot attempt off? Those are the types of problems that we've worked on together. So you imagine this exciting data that they have access to, real-time tracking, knowing what events are happening in a game. From that, you could make predictions. So for example, you could say, given what I've seen up to now in a game, where is the most likely location for the next shot to take place? Will that shot be successful? Which players are likely to score the next basket? What parts of this team's behaviors are the ones that are leading toward them getting a turnover in this soccer game or in this basketball game? Those sort of predictions are really important for understanding and for telling media stories. There are people who've studied sports and really care deeply. The coaches, the general managers really need to know insights that are at a level of detail far beyond what's typical in CVPR or ICCV papers. This level of detail is something that you only get when you talk to people like SportLogic and understand what's actually necessary for this domain. My favorite sport is soccer. So to me, it's a beautiful game, and it's not about winning or losing. And I think that's also something that I'd love it if SportLogic could come up with metrics for who's the most enjoyable team to watch. So at the end of the day, the people are what really, really matter. And I think that SportLogic from the very beginning has had an amazing team of people to work with. And it's not just about the technology or about the application domain, it's that you're working together with Mersan and Craig, who bring both sides of the expertise that you need to be successful. You've got someone who's highly technical, who knows computer vision in and out, that's Mersan, combined with somebody who's really passionate and knows the industry and is so creative about potential markets for technology. The future is also really exciting in terms of the potential for what one could do within sports analytics.
I'm Jim Little. I'm a professor at the University of British Columbia in the computer science department. What brought me to SportLogic was my work on spatiotemporal databases. And I've always been fascinated with events that occur in space, over time, and involve motion. We formed a team that worked directly with SportLogic just 3 to 4 years ago. And that was beginning of a much closer relationship where we came to them to understand problems, and they came to us to understand solutions of the sort we could develop. People at SportLogic are very capable, but they also bring in all the different possible methods and techniques that I'm interested in developing. So I can see by interacting with SportLogic how having the ability to explore different areas can enrich the problems and the solutions. We were have been looking at event recognition, that is understanding what happens in the game at a level where you can use it to inform the coach or the manager. But beyond that, I think right now is an amazing time for looking at new opportunities to communicate information to the sports fan, which I am, so I could think of different ways to interact with them. And that's one of the great aspects of working with SportLogic, is to see possible new avenues of research. It's interesting, I'm involved with sports scientists just recently, people who train athletes and who look at how to assess performance of athletes, and with machine learning people. And they are interested in understanding how to make sense of the data. Computer vision sort of in the middle, where it takes the raw data coming out of the broadcasts and produces information not only at the sort of individual level, but at the team level. I've played sports ever since I was a young kid. That's what I did after school, other than my homework once in a while. But you know, basketball, hockey, I'm very bad at soccer, baseball, etc. As long as I could, I played hockey. So I'm still excited about all of these sports. Well, it would be great to have the opportunity to think that you're, like in fantasy football or fantasy hockey, not just the manager that trades players, but actually sets up the plays. And wouldn't that be fun to actually say, I'm going to assemble a team that's these 3 players or in the front line and see how they'd work together. I mean, there's many, many opportunities to simulate or even to make, on the other side, to visualize the game with a VR set to such a way that you're inside the game. Your game that you've hallucinated, whatever. Lots of fun things to develop.